Hola Hispanoamérica, soy Víctor X, bienvenidos al boulevard más famoso del planeta. Estamos en Hollywood y desde aquí les traeremos información exclusiva acerca de Insidious, una de las mejores películas de terror de toda la historia, dirigida por Mr. James Wan. ¿Le gusta el cine de horror? ¿Le gusta asustarse en las salas? Pues aquí está lo mejor de lo mejor. Disfruten, es 35 milímetros desde Hollywood a través de Venevisión Plus.
Come on, let's get out of here.
Josh y Renee comienzan a sufrir experiencias que la ciencia no puede explicar. Regresan Patrick Wilson y Rose Byrne como protagonistas de Insidious.
Still happening.
What is?
I heard the piano playing by itself downstairs, and I found Callie on the floor of her room by her crib.
Well, maybe she climbed out of her crib. Has she ever done that before?
What? What is wrong with you?
Renee, I just want us to move on from this. That's all. I want us to be a normal family again.
There is nothing normal about this, okay? These things are still here. Elise is dead. No one's talking about it. Someone murdered her.
Then let's talk about it.
This script, or the first script, you know, of the first movie, for me, really just blew me away, and I loved the sort of how the structure of it. It really, to me, felt like this adult drama played through as a horror movie, and then you have these humorous elements, which I'm always interested in, with, you know, Specs and Tucker arriving, and you know, I think that's always interesting, putting you know this real dramatic story. Then in walks these two guys. You know, I love all that really interesting stuff that James and Lee do so well. So.
3, 2, 1, go!
We really did have a great time on the first one, and everybody believed in the project. Everybody, cast, crew, everybody. So you knew all the people coming back were coming back knowing, you know, how special the first one was.
Here.
Well, that's the thing about James, is he'll you know, you look at the first movie and he goes, okay, you got a haunted house movie, what happens in the haunted house? You always say, why don't they move? Well, you know what, we moved. So that was, you know, he always likes to take on the cliche, you know, in this movie, what we're shooting now, when you get into the meat of the story, the darkest, most visceral point of the story, we walk into this beautifully lit pink and flowery room. You know, he loves to play with that juxtaposition, which I love to do as an actor. You want to play your opposite.
Hey.
It's only going to go for a little while. You asked me manually to do it. You know.
Yeah.
You should hear his voice drifting. I'm in the basement.
Reading the script initially, that's what got me in. I was like, this is sort of like a family drama, and it just turns into a thriller. But it starts out, and that for me as an actor was definitely the way in to sort of empathize with the situation and make a reality of it. It's literally a day later, and I sort of see her like she's on the verge of a nervous breakdown. That's kind of how I see the character. And then she sort of does have one. She's thrown into action because of the events around her, so that takes her energy. But the first half of this second of the sequel, I think she's basically having a nervous breakdown and just trying to keep it together.
I heard voices in the hallway. Is there something wrong with Daddy, Mom? In the movie, I played Dalton Lambert, and what Dalton does is, in this movie, he can astral project. So he goes into the further, and he searches around, and he finds Patrick, aka Josh.
Whatever it was that was haunting my family, it's not done with us.
I've always thought that if you care about the people, you care about what happens to them, then you get really frightened for them. I just think it heightens everything. And the fact that James was doing a character-oriented type of thing and not doing CGI and doing it on the set, sort of, I mean, I don't want to use the word old-fashioned because it's not old-fashioned, but the classic maybe way of the way they used to do horror films versus what they've become.
And then freak out, and then your attention goes down to the dice, right? And that's what he
to, right, once you see the dice, you go, oh, okay, that's bad. Then you come back up and
Right. Okay. So, did you hear that, Patrick? More what I said. I love practical locations, of course, because the more that's there, the more that's real, the easier it is for me to be real. Especially these houses, which seem to have a lot of atmosphere. But I also like shooting on sound stages. You know, thinking of making movies. Sometimes I'll step back and go, "Wow, I'm making movies," and that's a great feeling as well. It's just a different thing.
I'm gonna take the kids to school, okay?
No se desconecten porque en minutos les tenemos más información desde aquí, desde el Boulevard de Hollywood.